Yeah. Remember that green punch I put on here? I don't know, what was it, 3 weeks ago or something, boy? It really turned it on. And this ryegrass over here in the blue, I'm gonna go on and start spoon feeding it a little bit. And the reason I want to spoon feed it is I'm not a big fan of putting a lot of heavy granulars in the ground and, you know, feeding it that kind of way. I want to micro dose the plant, give it just a little bit foliar type application, and that way not a lot of things are hanging around, because you got to remember I'm getting ready to wake this Bermuda up in I don't know what, a month maybe. So I ain't really trying to hammer the ground with a lot of heavy fertilizers and that kind of thing, because I ain't trying to throw my Bermuda too much out of whack. Well, hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. I want to welcome you out here to my shop. This is Bermuda grass right here. We put down the GCI Bermuda grass seed, and for some legal reasons I had to change the name of that. Some things that I wasn't aware of, and sometimes you learn a lesson through the back door, and I learned my lesson with this. The new GCI Turf Bermuda grass seed is going to be called Alpha Elite. Now the actual seed that's inside the bag, it ain't changed a bit. It's the exact same identical grass seed. It's just the name on the outside of the bag is different. We're getting that bagged up, getting it ready to go. Won't be too much longer. Get on my email list. As soon as that's ready, I'll shoot you an email and you'll know where to get it. Now the reason I called it Alpha Elite, because we all know Bermuda is an alpha dominant turf, okay? Man, if you ain't careful, it'll go and spread and take over everything. And in this case, that's what I want it to do. I want that warm season alpha dominating turf right here, so I can show my Bermuda lovers how I grow Bermuda grass. It's bad to the bone. It creeps and crawls and spreads and fills in gaps and all kind of things. You can't hardly kill it. I'm telling you, it's that tough. So Alpha Elite just seemed fitting. And yeah, I went on and applied and got the trademark on it and all that cool stuff, so I'm good to go now. Now out here, this side over here is overseeded with rye. Any of you know anything about Bermuda? Right now, this Bermuda is supposed to be brown. Well, it is brown up under here, but I covered it for the winter with a cool season turf because I didn't want to look at a brown yard. Now over here on this side right here, you can almost see the line going right down through here. This over here is Kentucky bluegrass, and you know, they call that blue muta, the bluegrass, and got the backside of Bermuda, blue muta, and that's a combination of Bermuda and Kentucky bluegrass. I'm a little unsure right now. I don't know what I'm gonna do, if I'm gonna keep that around or smoke it off and go back full Bermuda on the whole plot. Hey, why don't you tell me? I'm fortunate enough to be able to kind of do different things out here. It's a long ways from my house. I'm not worried about the Bermuda getting in my fescue. So we can kind of play around with this. Comment below. Let me know what you want to do. I do know the immediate plans is we're going to sand level this in the springtime, probably in another month. Bring a bunch of sand out here and level it out, get it good and flat and tight. And then of course we'll have Bermuda on this side, but I'm more worried about this. Do we want to keep the blue muta, or do we want to smoke off the Kentucky blue part and then let the Bermuda, you know, be the whole yard? So you comment below, let me know what you think, and I'll read the comments and we'll get with it. Look right here. Look at my little buddy right there. Poa annua. It's a little annual grass. It'll germinate back late summer, early fall, sometime in there, and it's kind of a nuisance. Puts off a little white seed head. The benefit I have with it being over here on the bluegrass side is I can easily get rid of it, and without doing a ton of damage to my bluegrass. You know, herbicides on this are far and few between them, and there's just not a lot of options out there. But I do have a way I'm gonna go over here and select out all the poa. I'm gonna smoke it dead as a hammer, and I'll show you how to do that after we mow. All right, so hopefully the sun will kind of start glowing a little bit and we'll get to see some stripes right here. I'm about to die to stripe this. I'm telling you, I cannot wait. It ain't been mowed since last, December or so. So it's ready to be mowed right now. I'm cutting at a 1/2 inch, and I'll keep it pretty much at a 1/2 inch throughout the entire spring of the year. The sun's coming out, so let's get with it. Well, there you go. Turned out pretty nice right there. Woo-hoo! Nice and tight. When I say tight, I mean it's tight too, boy. Look at that. All right, so let's go right here and let me show you what I'm talking about. See this little spot right here? There's your poa right there. You see that little seed head right there? It'll put off and it'll drop that seed head on the ground. And in late summer, that'll germinate, and then bam, there you go, you got your next crop. Now, because I was doing some overseeding last fall, I didn't do a pre-emergent, and that's kind of one of the consequences of not doing that, and I'm completely okay with it, because I'll eventually get this worked out, because I'm bagging it and collecting the seed heads as they come up. So I'm not allowing them to fall back. And every time I see it, I'm gonna spot treat it. Now with this right here being Kentucky bluegrass and having a spreading characteristic, and of course you can do this with Bermuda as well, I can come right here with my pocket knife and look, I can cut that out right there, and that plant is 100% eliminated. And I got a little tiny divot right there. I could grab a little scoop of dirt and put it right there and be just fine. And then this right here will fill back in. Fescue, if you got little teeny tiny clumps like that and you go to dig them out, or you use this method I'm about to show you, if you go to pushing it good in the spring with fertilizer, your fescue will fill that little hole in. I mean, you're talking about a hole no bigger than a quarter right there. It's actually a little bit smaller than a quarter. This right here is a little foam applicator, and you basically put 70 milliliters of Roundup in it, and then go up to 85 with the blue dye. And then you top it off with water. And I actually, the last 10 milliliters, I put a little natural adjuvant in there. No, I didn't adjust the pH and nothing like that. I'm just throwing it in there for the sticky portion of it to help it adhere to this poa real good. I'll link these things up in the description. And again, this is only a very, what's a good word right here that I can use? This is only a isolated circumstance where I would recommend using this. When I've got little single individual plants like this, because you gotta remember this is Roundup. Okay, whatever this Roundup hits, it's going to smoke it. So with that little bit of foam right there, I can isolate that one little individual plant. And when it takes it out, you know, the bluegrass will kind of fill back in. And no, 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 I do not recommend this application method as your go-to source for weed control, okay? Poa annua, Poa trivialis, Dallas grass, things like that that are very difficult to control in a yard using a selective herbicide, simply because not a lot of options are out there. This is a good option to control those type of weeds or those type of grasses. If you got things like hairy bittercress and clover and dandelion and chickweed and henbit and garlic and onion and all those routine type weeds, They make herbicides that you apply to your yard. It'll take out the weed and won't damage the turf. So there you go. I think it's looking pretty snazzy right now for the first mow. It's a little rough. I double cut it, and I'm gonna go in here and get some 505, and again I'm gonna be spoon feeding this up until I smoke it off, or well, actually until I read your comments and kind of get some suggestions on what you want to see here. And if your suggestion hee-haws with what I'd like to do, then that's what we'll do out here. But in the meantime, I'll be spoon feeding this with 505, and that way I can feed the plant a little bit of micro dosing it, you know, every now and then. Pump it up a little bit, give it a little color, make it glow like a new penny, you know, all that cool stuff. Because heck, I gotta have something to mow, right? Hey! I gotta have something to mow, right? So I want something pretty to mow. So that's kind of why I'm going through that process of the spoon feeding. Ain't nothing like that first cut, you know what I mean? To give you a little update on this over here, you know, I've been trying to get this fence installed for months now, and they give me a date, and then, you know, backlogged and booked and stuff like that, and couldn't get out here to do it. Weather, material, supply chain, having trouble getting the fence. Finally, they give me a hardcore date. Well, they give me a hardcore date before, but they changed it. Middle of March, I think it's 17th is when they're actually gonna come out here and do it. I think today is the 8th or 9th of March or something like that. So we're getting real close to that. So that means this weekend, I'm gonna start digging up my liripe at the house and splitting it up. And then the next couple of videos out here, we'll begin designing these beds and laying them out. And I'll give you a little bit of my take on designing the landscape so that 1, it looks good, 2, it functions well, and 3, it's super easy to maintain. Yeah, I'm a super busy dude, man. You just don't know. I am wide open right now, and I love it. So I don't want to put a whole lot of, I don't want to put a whole lot of plant material in here that I got to constantly be working on. It takes up more of my time and all that. I'm gonna put real low maintenance stuff out here, and I'll show you all that from start to finish. So be sure and like, subscribe, and share it, and tell all your buddies. Hey, the weather's nice, God's good, the sun is shining, and the grass is growing. So hey, let's get with it. Hey, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch this. I'll check you later.